help us to recognize that being friendly is something you can cultivate if you yourself, that's not how you are naturally. It is not something for a few people. You know what I'm
Yeah. Why being vulnerable has to be one of them?
Oh, come on. Why didn't somebody answer that question for me? Who likes to be vulnerable? Me. I am the only person that I know, of all the people that I know, when I share stuff, people are always like, how could you say that to the church? My husband, oh gosh. I've actually stopped giving testimonies now to my husband. Because as far as he's concerned, even if it's got nothing to do with him, I'm his wife. So as far as he's concerned, if there's anything bad I'm talking about or anything I was getting myself in, I'm saying how God brought me through, he's associated. Unless it's something good, he doesn't want to be associated with it. Now that's what I mean when I say vulnerable. Vulnerable is where you've done something you know wasn't good. And then nobody will approve that. They'll say, that's terrible. But you're coming to say, listen, I've done this. This is what God did with me through coming through that experience. This is what God is talking about it. You know, our testimony is supposed to strengthen the brethren. But we only want to come and give testimonies that make us look like something good happened. Sometimes it's a terrible testimony, things that we've been through, that others get blessing from because they recognize that a lot of people have got stuff going on as well. Everybody's afraid to be vulnerable, my sister. Nobody wants anyone to see what's actually happening inside there. You know, this morning I said something when I asked what love was the first thought that came to mind. And I said, most people don't like to say what the first thought that comes to their mind. Because it makes them feel like, maybe that's not what I'm supposed to say. Maybe I'm supposed to say Jesus. Maybe I'm supposed to say kindness. But what may have come to your head might have been a red rose. It might have been a love song. But it doesn't fit right, does it, for Christian people to say that's what comes from Jesus and Christianity and that kind of stuff. And so sometimes that is what I call being vulnerable. So most people don't want to do that. So that's what. I am a strange person, I recognize that. But I'm learning that authenticity is key to making good relationships. And being authentic means making yourself vulnerable.
It's also very countercultural. Because the world now, you walk down the street and whereas you used to say good morning to people, now they don't want to interact, do they? They are vulnerable and you're making yourself vulnerable. So if you say good morning and they go, you know, you're putting yourself on the line a little bit, aren't you, to carry on doing.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah.
Why are you smiling at me? Well, that's a risk I run every day because I smile at everybody.
Yeah.
I want to give a testimony to that quickly.
Yeah.
When I first came to England, the next morning I came out and I went to a gentleman. I went, good morning. I was so happy to be in England. And he just didn't answer me. And I walked along and I thought, he didn't answer me. And I went back and I said, I take my good morning back. You know, I didn't understand. So my aunt says, if they don't look in your direction and say, hello, this is not Trinidad, don't go up and tell them hello. So it took a while. I stopped saying hello to people on the street until I came to Cornwall. I find the Cornish now.
You're a little more friendly on this side of the world.
Yes.
Well done. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So here's the thing. Two things are going to happen. If you're salt, you have to function as salt wherever you go. The song said you can smile even if you can't speak. And you're right. You can smile and it could be somebody who has mental health issues and they think, why are you smiling at me? You know, their voices are telling them that you're trying to do something to them. That's a risk that you take. You just have to be a Christian. You become countercultural. Always remember that. If you're going to be like Jesus, you will always be. Was Jesus countercultural? If you're going to be and practice Christianity in its essence, I'm not talking about airs and graces and pretend. I'm talking about if you want to genuinely be the salt of the earth, you will be countercultural. But you have to do that. That is your witness in this world. That is your God-given responsibility. That is your legacy from Jesus Christ himself. You see, the things that we see that is not positive, we shy away from it. And so what the enemy of our souls does, he makes us see it as negative. But how do they know? And they know we are Christians by our love. That's an old song from Trinidad as well. By our love.